to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us. We are growing one big family. Thanks to all of yous. And I am so grateful and humbled by your beautiful comments and your uplifting messages. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to just touch a few things. So if the video is too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, you can turn on your CC, closed caption. And you can read whatever stitch I call out down here, take notes, pause the video, and you take it from there. It makes it more easier for people that have a hard time to follow YouTube. I also would like to mention that I do have a crochet group on Facebook. It's a private group. I will leave the links below if you want to be part of my group. We're a bunch of beautiful ladies. You're more than welcome as long as you have a profile. There's a lot of scammers going on to the crochet groups right now, and especially with the links that says bit or cut. Don't open those links up. Those are scammers that go through your computer, through your phone, and steal every identity possible from you. So be very careful on that. I also would like to mention, if you'd like to donate to help out the women in need for thread, please do so. Below the video, there's a little bag with a $sign. You can donate there, whatever amount you'd like. Also, in the description box, there's my PayPal account. You can donate there, whatever amount you'd like. Or if you have extra thread and extra yarn, you can contact me through Instagram message, email me. You can contact me through the Facebook group. I also have a Facebook page and TikTok. So there's so many ways you can get a hold of me if you'd like to send out the thread or the yarn to these women that are desperately in need of it. I will send you their name and their address. You're more than welcome to do that, and we're grateful and humbled by it. Thank you so much. So most of the time I use a 3.5 hook, small one to tuck in loose ends, and of course a pair of scissors. And 99.9% of the time I use 4-ply 100% cotton thread. These are Portugal threads. It's equivalent, the same thing as Aunt Lydia, number 3 cotton thread. Okay, just a little tiny little bit thinner, but not by much. So we're going to get started. I want to thank every single one of you again. I also would like to mention at the beginning of my videos, when I first started 2 years ago, I did not know how to call the stitch names in English. So the first couple of dozen of videos, they're not well recorded. First, the app was terrible, so it's half screens, horrible. And because I did not know the name, I would just, explain it my own way that I knew how. And I apologize for that. But if you go through some of those videos and you are creating those pieces, because there's some of you that have been texting me on it and questioning me, please feel free to ask any questions. I am here to help you. Some of them I have recreated, of course, with the proper codes for the stitch calling. Some of them I still have to create. I just haven't had any time for it. But don't hesitate. Question me, and I will answer you ASAP. We're going to get started. Thank you so much, everybody, okay? And, of course, if you have not subscribed, please do so and hit that bell notification for new uploads to be notified of the new videos that I bring out every week, okay? Okay, everyone. So this was a special request out of a member of one of the groups that I'm in, and she wanted for me to create a bigger placemat, and possibly without this edge, just leave on this one, or maybe create another different edge or something. And she wanted on Christmas colors. Okay, so I did create on Christmas colors. The only difference that I'm doing here now, I'm just going to increase. So I'm not doing the tutorial all the way from the beginning because the tutorial is already out. I will leave the link below. If you want to create this Christmas one that I'm just going to finalize on the recording, then you can go to the link, create until that amount that you would like, and then come back to this video and finish it up. So these are the placemats. For some of you that have missed it, this is one color placemat. The flower, also the tutorial, also is out. I'll leave the link below. Okay. And I have the autumn one in case you have missed it. So this is the autumn setup. Okay. So of course it looks all messed up because I've been just throwing it around, trying to get my threads in and out. Okay, so now we're going to go and finish up with the Christmas one. And I mean, you can do it in the green, gold, red, or white. I went with red and tan color with the gold. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the edge of the gold here, like we have here. We've been doing to all of them. And then I'm going to do another row of the red. Now the other placemats, they have only 3 rows of these. I'm going to go to the 4th row on it. Okay. So basically this is no different than what's on the other tutorial. It's just slip stitch. Only difference is when you come to the slip stitch here, because it's a slip stitch, you would just do a single and then next space, slip stitch, slip stitch. Let me get you a little bit more closer. So very simple. And then I'm going to come back and prepare for the next row. We'll call it paddles or half moons or whatever you want to call it. Now I did create the flower for this one. I wanted the flower to be different. I mean, we always do the red flowers or the green flower. I mean, you could do it in green and gold also, or mix red, green, and gold. So many ways you can play with it, right? So I wanted the flower to be different. I didn't want to just do in red. I mean, the most common thing is the red and gold. So I went ahead and did this one. Okay, so I don't have the flower hooked on the ring, but it will give you an idea of what it looks like. So it's a little bit different instead of being, you know, the red and the gold or gold and red. If you're doing greens, you know, I wanted to make it different. So there it is. Okay, let's continue on. So I'm doing the single here where my single, I was slip stitch and then going into slip stitch on each one. Okay, so you'll see that on the tutorial if you're creating this piece for the new ones, because I know the ones that requested are creating it. Okay, and then I'll be back to you with the red. Okay, so I'm coming in with the red slip stitch knot. It's no different than all of the other ones that we did. We're just increasing. That's the only thing we're doing here. So you'd come behind your first loop on that single we did with the gold, or whatever color you're using. 1, 2, trying to tuck in my loose end. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. For some of you that have a tight stitch, you can do an 8 chain. So basically I have 3 for double crochet and 5 for the V. We're creating V's. Get you a little bit closer here. Okay, so because we are increasing, we need to do more chains here. 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to do 4 chain. I'm coming behind and I'm grabbing the first loop here on the single that we did with the gold, double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we need to do more. 6. I'm doing 6, which is okay because usually the first one is always the largest one, right? So 6 chain because we need to add, here we did 13 double crochets. We're going to add 2 more inside of this one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 chain for space. Coming behind, grabbing the first loop on the gold. Then you have the second one here, as you see, that will be for the other double crochet. So double crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then the second loop here of the gold. Chain there, little loop. Then we do double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is how we're going to proceed all the way around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've come to the end. I did my 4 chain. I'm coming in. So we did a single here, 1, 2 on my third one. Coming in with a slip stitch. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Get you a little bit of a close-up. And then inside, we're going to do 15 all together with the 3 chain that we went up. So 3 chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're adding 2 more, 14 and 15, because we started this one here with 9, 11, 13, and this one's 15. Okay, so now because we have 13 here, we're going to count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On your 6th double crochet, you have to go underneath the 4 chains in the back. Okay, make sure you do that. You have to grab those 4 chains behind it. So again, we're going to repeat the same thing directly into the 6 chain here and do our 15 double crochets again. So very simple, nothing to it. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we have our 15. Again, we're going to count where the double crochets are. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your 6th one, right behind the gold. You have that little chain there, and slip stitch. And then you go directly into the 6 chain V's that we created and continue to do your 15 double crochets. So nothing really different than what we did with the other ones. The only thing that's different is we're doing increase of 2 double crochet. Instead of 13, we have 15. So continue yours, I'll continue mine, and I'll meet you at the end. Everyone, I was saying to close in on your 6th, but it's not your 6th, sorry, on your 7th double crochet. I don't know why I said 6th. 6th was on my mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on your 7th double crochet. and you slip stitch. For some reason I have 6 in mind. I don't know why. Okay, and then proceed your 15 double crochets. Okay, so on your 7th. Okay, everyone, so we pretty much arrived at the end. I've closed in my 7th double crochet. I'm coming in the 3rd chain here that we went up. Actually, thought I had my thicker hook on, but it's always my stitch that's very tight. Okay, then we're going to cut it. We're going to tuck in the loose ends. We're going to come back with the gold and do the same thing as we did here. The slip stitch. So just tuck in back here on the loops to make sure that nothing comes apart. So slip stitch knot, and on this one, because it's such a slippery thread, I like to leave it a little bit longer to make sure that we tie it well at the end, because it can come off easily. It's like a silky thread, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to come in where we have that slip stitch. I'm going to do a single, next space, slip stitch right through it. I always try to find a way to hide my thread, which is almost nearly impossible this way, but still try. Whatever's left over, I will tie it in somewhere. So I'm doing slip stitch, but I'm trying to hide my thread here at the same time by going back and forth on it. I think it should be good. I hope I'm good. If not, I will just tuck in the wrist. Okay, so we continue. Slip stitch, all the way through. But I'm not going to cut my thread, okay? I'm going to use this for the edge so my pattern can really stand out. I'm not going to use the 10 color. Okay, I could have, but I want it to be different than the others that I've already created the edge. So we'll just have a different color. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've reached the end. I'm going to come right behind it over here and pull a slip stitch through it. Actually, I'm going to grab from the back, right between where we did the single here with the gold. I'm going to pull this to the back. My hook is quite small, so I don't want to pull all the threads, but just trying to get that one thread coming back here. Okay, so I got my thread back here. Now I'm going to skip the first, the second, And I'm going to come in. First, I should just go through here. Let me see how I'm going to pull this. I mean, if you want to cut your thread, that's fine. I'm going to use a smaller one to get myself to the third one because I really didn't want to cut the thread. But if you find it easier, I'm just going to come from back here and try to get my thread somehow in there. So I'm coming from the back to the third. If this works out, let me see. So we have 1, 2, 3 on the fourth. Okay, I think I should be okay with this one. Yes, it should be okay. So on my fourth, 1, 2, 3. Just make sure. 1, 2, 3, one more. Okay, so I'm going to count one more in here. Am I in there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm on my fourth one. But if you want to cut your thread, you can go ahead. Just wanted to get my thread to go in there on the fourth space because I really didn't want to cut it. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 for double crochet, 1 for space. I'm coming into the next space and doing double crochet. 1 chain, next space, double crochet. 1 chain, next space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 chain. I'm coming into the next space, double crochet, next space. Whoops, we need to do 1 chain space. So all of them is 1 chain space except for this middle one. Okay, so it's a little bit different. I mean, it's similar edge, just a difference with the chain here. The other one we have all 1 chain. This one's 3. Okay. One chain. Now, let me count from this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 4 and 4. So this is not good. I need to do one more. Sorry about that, people. Sometimes I have to play around with it a bit. Wonder if my light is on. Yeah, that's better. I thought I was saying dark. Okay, so we have 4 on your third double crochet. So like I said, if you wanted to cut your thread instead of like, going through all these maneuvers in and out of the double crochets, right into the 1, 2, 3 on the fourth space. Okay, so we have 4. I'm going to do 1 chain and double crochet. 1, 2, 3 chain. I'm coming into the next one. Double crochet. 1 chain into the next one. Double crochet. 1 chain into the next one. Double crochet. 1 chain and into the next one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm coming into the next one because I want to have 5 in one side and 5 on the other with a 3 chain in the center. So here there is no chain, so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3. We're going to come into the fourth one and double crochet, 1 chain. So we have our first double crochet, next space, double crochet, 1 chain. That's our second double crochet, 1 chain, our fourth I should say, 1 chain, and our 5th. Okay, 1, 2, 3, into the next space. So we did 3 chain after our 5th, and now we're going to do 5 double crochets on this side. Okay. Now, if I was to put the tan color, would also look beautiful, but I think this gives it a much richer look on the table for Christmas. Right? Again, skip 1, 2, 3, and on your 4th, one chain, next space. Now you could use back loops only if you wanted to. It gives you that extra effect with the red in between them. And that's what I was supposed to do, but for some reason I got carried away and went on. So I'll leave it at this, but it will look beautiful if if you're using back loops only. It will give that beautiful red in between it, in between the gold. I think it still looks stunning, right? 1, 2, 3. So we did the 5 double crochets. Next space, 1 chain. Okay, so continue on. Do your 5 double crochets on one side and your 5 double crochets on the other, and make sure you have your 3 chain in the center right after your 5 double crochets. And you go directly into 1, 2, 3 on your 4th one. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, I've reached the end. There's a lot of bling bling here with this gold ring. It's very shiny. And I'm going to close it in with a slip stitch. Don't worry about this thread. I'm going to pull this thread to the back. Okay, so I'm going to come in between where we have the 1 chain. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do peacock. Next space. Single, 1, 2, 3 chain. Peacock. Next space. Single, 1, 2, 3. Peacock. Next space. 1, 2, 3. Peacock. Next space. Now here we're going to do single, 1, 2, 3, peacock. We're going to come back in, single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close it in with single. I'm going to come back in, single, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to have 2 peacocks of 3 inside of the same space with 1 of 6 chains. Okay, so 2 peacocks in the middle here, and of 3 chain and 1 of 6. So very simple, not complicated. And then we continue 1, 2, 3. Neighbor's dogs are going crazy again. Must be the cat. Call him the Garfield. He's coming around to bug the dogs. There's never a dull moment in this place. 1, 2, 3. And peacocks. So all you have to remember is you must have the same quantity of peacocks in one side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 1, 2, 3. So we need to do this on 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to come in the same space to close that picot off, okay? And then directly into the next space for the next motive, okay? So 1, 2, 3, and it will be repeatedly like this all the way around. And that's about it. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to have your 4 picots on one side and 4 picot in the other, and your 3 on the center, 2 small of 3 chain, and 1 of 6. So we're coming in the center again. How beautiful that looks. So 1, 2, 3 chains. So we do our first picot here on the center. Come back in with a single. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close it. Come back in with a single. And 1, 2, 3. So all in the same space on that 3 chain space we did here. And come back in again. So now we have the 3 picots in the center here. And then you'd continue. Now don't forget that at the end, when you do your picot, you must come in and close it in the same space, okay? 1, 2, 3. Picot. So we have our first picot. We have our second. We have our third. Now we're going to create our fourth, which is on the last one. Okay, and we're going to come back into the same space with a single, okay, then directly into the next space. 1, 2, 3. And why we're doing it this way, because I don't want that picot to be coming over the single here. I want them to match up the same way. If I didn't do the single here and I go right directly in here, the picot would have stayed there in the middle, and I didn't want that. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope for the women that requested it, you enjoyed it. I will have it in display at the end. And thank you so much again, everybody. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. And I will see you on the next tutorial. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.